Hello student. Today I'm going to start the next chapter, that is gear. Previously we have completed the gear trains. Now we study the gears. What is gear? Actually gear is a motion transmission device in precision machines in which a definite velocity ratio is of very importance. Then only positive drive is by means of gears or toothed wheels. We also call gear as a toothed wheel. Drive actually used where you required a particular definite velocity ratio, because in belt or rope slipping is a common phenomenon. Okay, so that's why for getting a definite velocity ratio we use gear or toothed wheels. But it has also some limitation. Gear or toothed wheels can be used only for a small distance. We cannot use it for a long distance. As we see in the floor mill, the distance between the two pulleys about 2 to 3 meter, where we cannot use this. So that's why you use the flat belt drive. Okay. So now you can see here, gear can also be noted, uh, can be understood by friction wheels. So let's understand why we are using this word friction wheel. Actually, if you see this figure in which there are two discs A and B, there are two friction discs. If disc A rotate in a clockwise direction, and then it will also rotate the disc B in anti-clockwise direction because of friction. One thing you should be noted at the rotation of gear A is if clockwise, the rotation of B will be in anti-clockwise. Okay. So here you can see there is a common tangential force, that is P, that is occurring at the pitch point of contact of these two discs, that is P. If this P will be greater than friction force, that is mu Rn, then slipping will be start. So to stop this slipping, we use this teeth to increase the friction, that is our frictional resistance. So that's why these these phenomena of toothed wheels have come out to increase the frictional resistance. So now I think you have understood why we are using these toothed wheels or gear. Now we come to the some point, that is the advantage and disadvantages of gear drive. As you can see here, what are the advantages? It transmits exact velocity ratio. It may be used to transmit large power. It has high efficiency. It has reliable service. It has compact layout. Disadvantages, you can also see the manufacture of gears require special tools and equipment. The iron cutting teeth may cause vibration and noise during vibration. Now we come to the classification of toothed wheels. So gears can be classified according to the position of axis of shaft. The position of axis of shaft, it may be parallel shaft, may be intersecting, may be non-intersecting and non-parallel. As you see in the figure, there are some gears here written here: single helical gear, double helical gear, bevel gear and spiral. What does it mean? So let us start with the classification of these gears. So first start with the parallel shaft. If the axis of shafts are parallel, let's suppose there are two gears and these two gears will be composed of two shafts, and these two shafts of are parallel. So if these two shafts are parallel, then two gears are used, that is only one is the spur gear and another is the helical gear. So spur gear and helical gear are used for the parallel shaft. Okay, but there is some difference in spur gear and helical gear. Let's see. In spur gear, the teeth are parallel to the axis of wheel. In spur gear, the teeth are parallel to the axis of wheels. I see if there is any spur gear here. Actually, diagram for scrum gear is not given here. Uh, Actually, you can see in the rack and pinion. In this is pinion, this is small gear, that is pinion. In this, you can see the teeth are parallel to the radial 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 axis of this circle. You can see here. So this gear will be called spur gear. Now, or you can also see that if the axis, you can see that you can if the axis of this pinion and the axis of this teeth are parallel, so they can, you can also see that if these two are parallel, then it will be as per here. In a helical gear, what happens, this is some inclined as like this. As you see in the spiral gear, the teeth are inclined. Teeth are inclined. So is the spiral gear. Sorry, this is the helical gear. So spur gear and helical gear are used for the. If you can see here, spur gear and helical gear are used for the parallel shafts. Now for intersecting shaft, we use the bevel gears. So bevel gear where the two shafts axes are intersecting. And for non-intersecting and non-parallel, we use spiral gears. So here you have given some, and for more clarification you can go to the book. If there is any confusion, you can call me anytime. Now next classification is according to the peripheral velocity of the gears. There may be low velocity gear, medium velocity gears and high velocity gears. So these velocity categorized according to the velocity ratio. If the gear, here he has given the gears having velocity less than 3 meter per second are termed as low velocity gear. If the gears having velocity between 3 and 15 meter per second on medium velocity gear, if the velocity of gear is more than 50 meter, then these are called high speed gears. Now, an S classification is according to the type of gearing. According to type of gearing, there may be external gearing, internal gearing, and rack and pinion. So here you can see external gearing is in which the gears are missing externally, and internal gear are missing with internally, and in rack and pinion, one gear is flat and another is a small, other, which the gear which is given drive is a small pinion. So that is called rack and pinion gear. Now next philosophy according to the position of teeth on the gear surface. So teeth on the gear surface may be straight, inclined and curved. Now next important things is we goes to the nomenclature in gear. The terms used in gears you can see it carefully. So here you can see that the topmost circle is called, and the gear uh, that is going with the periphery of this teeth, The topmost circle is called addendum circle, and the top lowest circle is called dedendum circle, as you can see here. So topmost is the addendum circle and topmost is the dedendum circle. So now there is a pitch circle. So this pitch circle is it is an imaginary circle which by pure rolling action would give the same motion as the actual gear. It means as we have seen in the friction wheels. In friction wheels, if there will not be any teeth, then it can be assumed like two friction wheels are meeting each other and the motion is going on. So pitch circle is analogous to that friction circle. So this is the pitch circle. Hmm. Then after that, there is a term that is uh, clearance or working depth circle. It is little above the dedendum circle, and as you can see here, it is little above the dedendum circle, and the distance between the dedendum circle and this clearance circle is known as clearance. Is known as clearance. Now, the difference between the pitch circle and the addendum circle is called addendum, and a difference between the clearance circle clearance circle sorry and difference between the dedendum circle and pitch circle is called dedendum. So you should be clear with the term addendum circle, dedendum circle, addendum and dedendum. Addendum and dedendum are different from the addendum circle and dedendum circle. Addendum and dedendum are distance it is between the it is the radial distance between the pitch circle and addendum circle, and dedendum are the distance between the pitch circle and the dedendum circle. Now, uh, there are some different also terms, that is face and flank. The above part of teeth is called face and the lower part is called flank. There is also working depth. Working depth is the radial distance between the addendum circle and clearance circle. So addendum circle and clearance circle is the distance between the addendum circle and clearance circle is the working depth. And and now there are some another terms that is very important terms. Let's see here. Another terms is pressure angle or angle of it is angle between the common normal to two gear teeth at the point of contact and the common tangent at the pitch point. It is usually denoted by phi. The standard pressing angles are 40 and a half and 20 degree. So I try to make you feel this angle. Actually, here uh, pressure angle is not clearly given. Okay, let's understand in a different manner. So pressure angle at suppose there are two friction circles and there will be a common tangent. Okay, or not there will be also a common normal. So between the the angle between this common tangent and common normal will be called pressure angle. So, now we come to the like part circular pitch. So, it is the distance measured on the circumference on the of the pitch circle from a point of one to corresponding point on the next foot. It is usually noted by PC. So, you can see here from this figure, here he has given the circular pitch. He had mentioned if you move from one point from another one point of tooth, then same point on another tooth, the distance between these 2 points will be called circular pitch. Now, next is the diametral pitch. So here it is the ratio of the number of teeth to the pitch circle diameter in millimeters, and it is denoted by PD. Definitely it is the T upon T. Next is the very important. It is the module. It is the ratio of pitch circle diameter in millimeter to the number of teeth. This is very important. Now clearance, as I have already told you, total depth, working depth that you can see from the book. This is not very important. Now, now then I come to the next point, that is the path of contact. So, please see here, it is the path traced by the point of contact of two teeth from the beginning to the end of engagement. So, here you need to understand when gear drive is going to happen, then how this is happening. One teeth is coming contact with the one teeth of gear is coming contact with the another gear, contact with the teeth of another gear. So, what happening? Uh, it is first it is contacted with the flank of uh, another gear, but the tip of tooth of one gear is contacted with the flank of another gear. Then slowly it comes to the that is called the start of engagement. Then slowly what happens, it will come to the tip of that gear, and this is called the end of engagement, or you can say the time of engagement during which the one teeth comes contact with the another teeth of the other gear. This is called the length of contact. So length of the path of contact, the part of contact, that is the part traced by the point of contact of two teeth from the beginning to the end of engagement. Now, length of bottom, it is the length of common normal cut off by the addendum circles of the wheel and pinion. At uh, uh, I will clear you this in another lecture by giving you some diagram. So, but here you have here you understand what is the definition says. Arc of contact is it is the path traced by a point on the pitch circle from the beginning to the end of engagement of a given pair of teeth. The arc of contact consists of two parts, arc of approach and arc of recess. Similarly, in path of contact, there is part of approach and part of recess. So, I will clear you in the more about this in the next lecture. So, today I am going to end this lecture here. Okay, class, thank you.